morning. We're coming to you from the American Nurses Association 2004 induction to the Nursing Hall of Fame, where we were so privileged to be with Imogene King. After her induction into the AMA, she invited us to meet and learn more about her theory and how it was derived. She was dressed in a suit, and you can tell by the way she carries herself that she's always very proper. You can imagine her with her patients in her pressed white uniform. I do not think she wears anything less than business casual. She was so unassuming, yet very intelligent. She answers questions directly without hesitation. She appears to be very hands-on and confident in her skills and knowledge. The way she cares about people came across in everything she shared. It was evident she valued relationships with others and maintained her relationships with coworkers, students, and friends over the years. While she shared her learning, she was interested in each of us and our goals. In her presence, you felt anything was possible. We left inspired and ready to share with our fellow nurses the wisdom gained from our time with her. In its simplest explanation, her theory on goal attainment is a patient and a nurse form a team and agree on goals and then work out a mutually agreed upon contract on how to achieve those goals. It is our hope you can also gain insight from the questions we asked and the answers she gave.
Hello everyone. The character trait of Miss King that I found interesting is this. She valued her relationship with others and maintained her friendship with coworkers, students, and friends over the years. If I had a question for Miss Imogene King, it would be this. You have embodied many different roles, such as being a nurse, educator, theorist, writer, traveler, and researcher. What was the greatest satisfaction you experienced in your nursing career? How does your theory contribute to this?
Seeing patients that I've cared for in the hospital return to a state of health in which they can function. I think that's the greatest satisfaction in nursing.
We can hear it from the theorist's own words about the greatest satisfaction of her nursing career. You explained the greatest satisfaction of your career. How does your theory contribute to this? The answer would be, based on my theory, to attain a goal, nurse-patient interaction is necessary. In an interactive process, the nurse and client share a specific goal, which is to regain health or return to a state of functioning and in some cases die with dignity. When it comes to patient care, interaction between the patient and nurse lead to a goal-directed activity, that is, coming back to a state of health and or recovery. If the goals are set, effective nursing care will occur. Thank you.
Defined to show differences. And because a lot of the critiques of my work have tried to critique the conceptual framework and the theory as one, that confuses the work that I've published. And I really know I have a theory. It meets all the criteria. The only question that is raised now is there's not a lot of published research testing the ideas, the relationships among the concepts, but that research I know is ongoing because the people are in contact with me. And some of them are beginning to write for publication, and hopefully their studies will be published soon. And I'm getting an upsurge of research, doctoral students and master students, especially in the fall semester of each year. I must have 5 to 10 calls a week. And this semester, they've been piping me into the classroom so that the whole class hears the responses to the questions they're asking. So I'm very pleased about what's happening. Medical Center in Toronto is one of those. Now that they have implemented their project, and it took them 3 years, because I consulted with them and said, please go slowly. All other departments in that medical center now are saying to the vice president for nursing, well, now that we know what nurses really do, and they have their own recording system because they've completely revamped their record system, it's now called the Goal-Oriented Nursing Record, that all of the departments have now suggested that maybe they should also use King's theory to implement these same ideas. And I said to the vice president, I think that's wonderful because it is a general systems theory. And although they would ask different questions probably and do different kinds of assessments, because it is general systems, it should cut across any discipline that works with people primarily. And that was to play the piano and paint. I didn't paint for 8 years in Florida here, and I just started again. I have my Chicago skyline scene that's half finished that will go on one wall. But I'm going to get back into the painting. Once I start a canvas, I lose all track of time and people and thought. And it's an image like that you're projecting on that canvas. And I can paint for 5 hours and not feel any hunger pains or feel tired or anything. Just marvelous. People say it's an outlet, and I don't find it an outlet necessarily, because I don't paint when I've got a problem I'm mulling over. I paint when I'm relaxed and happy.
Dr. King, you were always busy and working toward the common goal, training others and working in research. While you experienced great success in your career, what is one regret or something you would change?
Dr. King, no doubt you're a very well-educated nurse with a lot of nursing experience. What specific thing made you or triggered you to come up with a theory of goal attainment?
I kept thinking I had a theory of transactions because that was the biggie concept, and I want to talk about that in a minute. It's not transactional analysis from which I gleaned that concept. It was from also my love and interest in Dewey's educational philosophy as well as his theory of knowledge, and that word came out of his theory of knowledge. And his theory began with self-action, interaction, and transaction. But anyway, I kept saying this is a theory of transaction, and then I kept saying to myself, I use the Socratic method with me, and I kept saying, but if it's a major concept of the theory, it can't be the title for the theory. And so I read, and then I went into the social psychological literature and found Idelson and Cantrill and a few of those great guys who did a lot of research in interpersonal perception, and found that transaction and perception were so interrelated. And that's when I discovered that the concept of transaction could carry the valuational component of this theory, and that the concept of communication in my theory carried the component of information. And it was when I found that transaction was going to carry the valuational component of the theory, for some reason or other, the insight just came, and I said, now I have it. I have the whole process here, from the judgments, the mental acts of judgments that we make, and our mental reactions, and then moving to interaction, which is the only way you can collect data on this process. All of the other behaviors are indirect. You cannot get direct observations, but you can directly observe interactions. And when you move them to transactions, and that's when I said, transactions either can be the goals achieved, or if you make the transactions, you can almost be assured 99.9% that you will achieve those goals. And then it dawned on me. I said, I have a theory of goal attainment, because that's what this process leads to. I left Loyola and moved to Florida in 1980. I was appointed a full professor at the University of South Florida College of Nursing. It's the youngest university in the country, and it's the youngest program in nursing in the country. I teach graduate students primarily. I guest lecture in the undergraduate program. Graduate students I find delightful. They're raising really critical questions about their profession, and they're in graduate school, I think, to really increase their knowledge, most of them tell me, and then to try to set a goal for themselves as a career.